Man, listen, I, I don't even know what to say. I just woke up. Well, I didn't just wake up. I woke up maybe an hour or so ago, and immediately upon waking up, my thought was, "Oh my God, that Mandalorian finale." Listen, there's been a lot of great moments in Star Wars history. Even in the prequels, there were some great moments, but this season finale, the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, the entire episode, I think, is probably a top 5 moment in Star Wars history. The entire episode. And the ending itself, um, I, I'm struggling to find 4 or 5 moments that are better than the ending of this episode. I mean, I'm watching this episode going, uh, like, kind of in disbelief, right? So, full warning, there's going to be spoilers here. You can't really talk about this episode without spoiling it. So, like I said last week, the premise of this episode is everybody who we've seen so far, minus Ahsoka and Mayfield, readies for an attack on Moff Gideon to get Grogu back. That's the concept of the episode. As we've seen throughout the season, Moff Gideon's been building these dark troopers. They're robots. They seem incredibly badass. They've been built up as being incredibly badass, and they're the ones that kidnapped Grogu. And in the episode, we have a phenomenal one-on-one battle between Mando and one of these dark troopers. And it was an awesome fight, but you could tell Mando was getting all he could handle. Mando defeats the one dark trooper, and I believe there was like 24 total or something like that. But then he releases the other 23 out into space. He opens up a bay door, and the other 23 get pulled out. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is find Moff Gideon, get Grogu back, and we're good, right? And then this is the wave of emotion, right? So I'm watching the fight. I'm watching Mando fight the one dark trooper. I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool. Like, this is awesome, right? He defeats him. I'm like, all right, cool. Calm down. Mando's safe. Let's go find Moff Gideon and wrap this thing up. And then later we see the other 23 dark troopers coming back onto the ship. Then it didn't have jetpacks. I think if I remember correctly, it was like powering from their boots or feet, whatever you want to call them. I don't think they were boots; they're robots. But yeah, they're flying back into the ship. I'm like, oh my God! And by this point, they've already caught Moff Gideon. And speaking of which, Moff Gideon with his so I'm so out of it because this episode's so fucking good. Mando finds Grogu and has a awesome showdown with Moff Gideon with Darksaber on Beskar. It's like, oh my God, this is insane. What's happening right now, right? So Moff Gideon's defeated. The other 23 come back, and Moff Gideon says what everyone's thinking. You had a lot of trouble with the one. How do you think you're gonna fare against the rest of them? Like, you guys are fucked. Like, that's it. And as a viewer, these guys are fucked. But as I have proof of this, last week I was talking about The Mandalorian with a friend of mine, and I said, Grogu sat on that rock doing whatever he was doing for the entirety, most of the previous episode. He gets snatched up by the dark troopers. Are we supposed to believe that he didn't, like, this was unsuccessful? He just wasted the entire episode sitting there? Like, no. Like, some Jedi is gonna be summoned or come in contact with whatever message that Grogu is sending out. And then I'm like, who else could it be? I'm like, we're I think we're maybe 5 years after Return of the Jedi. There are no other Jedi. I'm like, it's gotta be Luke, man. Like, I was like, wouldn't it be badass if they storm Moff Gideon's ship, kick all the ass, but then the tables are turned and it looks like all hope is lost, and then Luke Skywalker comes to save the day. I fucking called it. I swear. You can ask him. I'll put him on this episode somehow, or in a future episode so he can confirm, but I fucking said that. And man, the way I had already said this, so I'm already kind of in my mind prepared for the possibility of Luke Skywalker showing up. And as this Jedi, well, for one, they show the X-Wing flying up. So already you should know, all right, oh shit, it's Luke Skywalker, right? X-Wing flies up, and even though I knew it was going to be Luke, and even though I had guessed it prior to the episode, the way I got to see who directed it. It was probably Favreau. I know Favreau tends to do the big ones. Taika Waititi did last season's season finale, which was amazing. Although although it is now the second best episode of the series, this is the first best episode of the series, but the first best. I'm telling you guys, I'm still like over the moon over this fucking episode. But the X-Wing arrives. I know it's Luke. I already predicted it's Luke, but the way they filmed it, it still made it so exciting because you're kind of sitting there like in disbelief, like, okay, this is really about to happen. This is going to be amazing. It's going on. It's amazing. And then you're just like, I can't believe this is happening. And they're doing like these really cool shots with like this really foreboding kind of music. And they're showing these like close in shots of the Dark Troopers like helmets, and they look incredibly menacing and evil, totally badass. And you just see Luke just tearing through them, the force pushing, lightsaber. He had my favorite one, where he like force crushed one of the Dark Troopers. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't deal with this. And I've seen a lot of comparisons to this between this and the ending of Rogue One, where Darth Vader wipes through everybody trying to get the plans of the Death Star. And that was amazing. This was better to me. Like, I think that this episode of The Mandalorian, I would say you would have to go back to the original trilogy to find anything in Star Wars that is better than this. I might be, again, maybe once I come down off of it, I won't have such a seemingly hyperbolic opinion of this episode, but I'm telling you, like right now, if I'm being perfectly honest, I can't think of anything outside of the original trilogy that is on par with this episode. So 5 stars to this episode. If you didn't see the post-credit scene, you need to. It's very important. It tells you what's up next. And to me, I interpreted this as saying the Mandalorian's over. That's it. Two and done. Luke left with Grogu. The post-credit scene kind of tells me, the manner in which Grogu left, you kind of feel like, okay, this is probably it. This is probably it, because I wasn't going into it thinking this was the end. So I'm watching it, I'm like, well, they're gonna have a hard time figuring out how Mando's gonna get Grogu back, because we can't have a season 3 without Grogu. Like, you gotta have him, right? So it ends, but then the post-credit scene has me believing that this is the end of The Mandalorian. When you look back now at the ending of the episode, combined with the post-credate scene, it sounds like this is it. And what a great 2 seasons, man. And what a way to end it. Favreau and Dave Filoni, I think it's his name, have done an amazing job. So my hat's off to them. If we could put the entire Star Wars universe in their hands, I'd be happy. So that's my quick review, synopsis, discombobulated rant, whatever you want to call it, monologue about the phenomenal season finale of The Mandalorian. So check it out if you haven't already. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Give me any feedback you have, and I will see you guys next time. I don't know what I'm going to come with next. I'm wrapping up The Expanse, though, so that's going to be coming soon. I don't know when, but enjoy, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.